He's the great Al Michaels. He'll have the call Sunday night. Colts Broncos joining us from Indianapolis. What's the mood like in Indianapolis right now, Al?
Well, I got here at 11 o'clock last night, so and I just woke up. So everybody's in a great mood. What can I tell you? Breakfast is great. Got a couple of poached eggs.
Nice.
I mean, the town is just rocking. Let me just look out the window here.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Then we get a true gauge of the mood.
Yeah, they're really stoked. I
like that. I like that. Thank you. All right, Al. That's all I needed. Thanks for doing
it. Hey, are you co-hosting, or is it just Bob on this?
It's just Bob. Apparently, I don't do anything. It's just Bob hosting.
Right.
Yeah. It's it's Bob and a cast of 1,000.
It's probably in his contract,
I wonder. I don't know if you've heard yet, or you'll be able to find out how long the pregame ceremony is for Peyton, given his, he's a creature of habit, and do the Colts, if you're going to make this emotional and roll out the red carpet, can you still do that given what's transpired here with Jim Irsay and his comments?
I guess you can. I mean, I'm sure they already have this thing set, and he had to have signed off on it to some degree to be a party to it. I don't know. I'm going to find out today. I assume it's probably in the neighborhood of maybe 10 minutes. I can't imagine it being much longer than that. I think, look, what took place this week, and you know Jim Irsay, and you know Jim Irsay's Twitter account, and Jim's made news for years on it, and he does so again. I interpreted it as more of a slap at Polian, Bill Polian, than at Peyton. Jim gets going, and he's doing an interview, and then you don't know how it's going to be played back, even though he should know by now. He's been in the league a long time, and then he has to backtrack, and it gives everybody 15,000 stories to write about, and you and I talk about it along with 18,000 other radio shows. So, to me, it's a big sideshow, but. Dan, you and I know in sports today, everything is a sideshow, including the Winter Olympics.
And in Sochi on NBC.
Right. There's your promo.
Knowing Peyton and how he has rabbit ears, here's everything, can you use this as motivation? I mean, he's already going to be geeked up to win, and it's not like he's going to say, no, I really, really want to win. But does this have any impact on the game itself?
I mean, he is so focused, and he's been in so many big situations throughout his career. I mean, going back to he's played in big high school games, huge college games, and we all know what he's done in the National Football League. So it's to me a classic case of been there, done that. He knows how to prepare, and I can't imagine him sitting there and saying, "Oh man, I've got to prepare 20% harder because I really want to beat these guys and I want to throw 60 points up on them this week." That's not him. He's a man who sees the task, and he'll do everything he can to be in the right frame of mind and right position and prepared for it more than anything else. I don't see it any different than if Peyton is going down to Jacksonville to play the Jaguars. He wants to win. He's as great a competitor as I've ever seen in the National Football League. I just don't think it's particularly relevant at that point. I think he's the kind of guy whose mind is so focused on what he has to do that any distraction is just moved to the side. I really don't see it providing any extra motivation for him because I just think he's well beyond that, Dan.
He's Al Michaels, NBC Sports. Got the game Sunday night with the Colts and the Broncos. Joining us, Dan Patrick Show. Are you going to talk to Jim Irsay? Is that part of the...
Yeah, well, I'm going to go out there in about an hour, so we're going to go to practice, and I'm sure Jim is going to be there.
But are we doing anything for the show on Sunday night with Jim Irsay to ask him about all of this?
Remember, Bob is the host.
Oh, that's right.
Don't forget. He gets first dibs.
Is Bob going to talk to Jim Irsay?
Good question.
Okay.
Bob's not in town yet, so as soon as he gets into town, Bob is kind of like our boss, so we have to figure out, what he wants to do and what he doesn't want to do, and then you and I are pretty much left with the sloppy seconds.
Do you have Peyton Manning interview?
Yes, Bob's going to sit down with him for a brief interview because we've done Peyton so many times. And he will be talking to him, so that will be part of the pregame show. I love the fact the way you the co-host or tri-host or whatever you want to call yourself of that show are asking me what the format is.
Well, but I can only I'm taking care of what happens at 30 Rock. Bob, and you and Bob are out there on site.
Right.
You know, you're supposed to be getting the temperature of exactly what's going on here.
Taking the temperature of Indianapolis. Oh, we'll have it by Sunday night. You know that. It's tough to take it on Friday. I mean, the patient is, the patient is fine right now, and there's no question. I mean, the town is stoked. People are, it's so funny. I hear about, you can't get a hotel room or a reservation or any of that stuff. Well, you can't regularly. I mean, Colts sell out almost every game. So I'm thinking to myself, well, wait a second. Well, why are there any more people necessarily here than there would be for a Super Bowl or really any other game? But that's the way it is.
Andrew Luck is sort of the innocent bystander here. Like, oh, by the way, this is the other quarterback here. And the point I've made all week is both franchises benefited greatly here. Denver took a risk. Colts took a slight risk. Now it looks like, you know what, they could have kept Peyton and used the draft picks and strengthened them. Given, hindsight here.
Yeah.
If you're Jim Irsay and you knew Peyton was going to be this Peyton, would he have kept him and traded the pick?
Well, that's a good question, and we'll never know the answer to that, because if you're Jim Irsay at that point and you have a guy who has a serious neck issue and will have to undergo multiple surgeries and is in his mid to advancing, late 30s, what do you do? I mean, I think he did what he probably had to do at that particular time, because what were you supposed to do at that point? You don't have Peyton. You're 2-14. All of a sudden, your franchise has fallen off the face of the earth. And can you rely on somebody coming back from 4 neck surgeries? I mean, that was the big question going into the Denver opener last year. I mean, that was the mystery. Could Peyton be Peyton? Could he look anything like Peyton? If he got hit and he got sacked, would that be the end of his career? So you had all of those things in play, in addition to the fact that, you did have the number 1 draft choice. But that doesn't mean, you're going to hit the home run. I mean, they do hit a home run apparently with Andrew Luck, and it looks like he's off to a fantastic start. But once in a while, a Ryan Leaf pops in there, and you have no idea he's going to be a Ryan Leaf until you get him, and then he turns into a total bust. So I think Irsay did what he had to do, and also got lucky. No pun intended, obviously, by being able to make the move, topped off by, if Peyton was healthy, you're still talking about a guy toward the end of his career, well past the middle, and you're taking a shot on another guy coming in who could be your franchise quarterback for the next 12 to 15 years. So when you look at what Irsay had to do, I understand it completely.
I don't know if you heard William Shatner recreating some of the great calls in sports history. We had him on a couple of years ago. And you, of course, had the Miracle on Ice, one of the great calls in the history of sports. And this is how William Shatner called your great moment, Al.
7 seconds. You got 10 seconds. The countdown is going on right now. Morrow, up to Silk. 5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes! Unbelievable.
Al, I love you, but I think William Shatner kind of captured it a little bit better than you did.
Well, I thought he captured Dryden at the end, because it was Ken who came in with the unbelievable. So I thought he did a really good job there. But at that particular point, William was probably just sitting there clipping his coupons from Priceline stock, because whatever Shatner has made in his career is about 1/1,000,000th of what he's made with Priceline, which, by the way, is trading over $1,000 a share.
No, he
as
sold
is Google.
He sold all of his stock.
He did.
He had it where it was like 10 cents, 25 cents.
Are you kidding me?
Yes.
Well, if that's the case, let me call something for Shatner. Do you believe in debacles?
He lost all of that because yes,
you're kidding.
Yes, I heard him interviewed on Howard Stern, where Stern asked him about, did you make $100 million from Priceline? And he said no. It actually, the stock went down. got to the point where the owner of Priceline called him and said, "We gave you a car. Can I have the car back?"
No.
And then he sold all of his stock, and then all of a sudden it went up to $1,000 a share.
That is a debacle.
Yes.
No wonder he's on your show recreating goals. Oh, man.
Well, have fun this weekend.
Oh, yeah, that's for sure. We will.
And tell the host, Bob Costas, I said hello.
Any other thing? Anything you need from Bob before Sunday night?
No, I'm good. I've got it all.
Okay, my boy. I will. And when are you leaving for Sochi?
I leave the day after the Super Bowl for the Winter Olympics.
All right. Could be on that flight with you.
Have you been to Sochi?
I have not.
Okay.
You haven't been either, right?
I have not. No, I have not.
Well, let's hope there's. What do we hope for over there?
But you went. I want nice weather. But you went. You had to do Wild World of Sports or something in Russia, right?
In Moscow, and I was always there in the dead of winter.
Isn't it always the dead of winter?
Well, it was the dead of winter the 3 times I've been to Moscow for Wide World of Sports. But no, we're going to a Black Sea resort, so we're in a place where apparently there are palm trees and swimming pools. So I'm going to bring my Speedo. Then you?
I'm going naked. Thank you, Al.
You're a beauty.
Al Michaels, NBC Sports.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.